So this week at Interview with a Warrior, we had a friendly warrior coming up with us. It was Nico Campagna. So Nico is slowly but surely making a name in the circuit WKC. This year, he was the highlight of the night show. He stole it. If you didn't see it, go see it on our page. We posted. It was on live. So yeah, Nico was really friendly and he kindly answered our question. He had a lot of things to say. He's young, he got ambition. It was a really good podcast, and it's always a pleasure to receive Douvris people. They train with each other. They have a nice vibe, really a friendly vibe and a family vibe. So once again, great podcast, great people, and yeah, Manu.
Yes. So if you guys want to support us, you know what to do. If you want to do it for free, just go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a French YouTube channel. We have an English YouTube channel. You can subscribe to both. This is free. You just have to click on subscribe, and you will have notification, and that's all, and that help us a lot actually. And when you like an episode, don't be shy to share it, comment, and put some like. And also, if you want to push the level of support a little bit higher, you can subscribe to our Patreon. We have actually hours and hours of content for you, exclusive for our Patreon. So tons of hours with our different guests for the last 2 years. And you always have the episode before everyone else. Sometimes it's for shorter periods. Sometimes it's for a long period, depending on how busy we are. But you always have it in premiere. So don't be shy and go subscribe. Patreon.com, Guerrier Podcast. It's right there.
Les cicatrices nous rappellent d'où on arrive. Les combats qu'on doit livrer quand le destin chavire. Guerrier, on fera ce qu'il faut pour la famille. Cœur de lion, œil de tigre, on a la paix dans la mire. The battles are never ending, I know. But we will get up and get on with the fight. And we'll do whatever for what is right. Just put your trust in us, in us.
So this week at Interview with a Warrior, we have a notorious warrior this week, Nico Campagna, who, I was at the World Menu. You were there too at the World Championship last week. And Nico. It was, man, after like musical form, you were like the attraction of the night. So it was really great. And yeah, you go on a highlight like that. And so Nico, so for those who don't know you, how do you start martial art and how do you get like where you are right now?
Yeah, well, I started martial arts when I was 9. I actually started at a different school. I was there for a year, and that's when I transferred over to Douvris when I was 10 years old. So I've been at Douvris Martial Arts since I was 10 at the Bank Street location, the main headquarters, and ever since then I've been competing. So I competed I was an orange belt by the time I actually got there, so I was already competing in kata, point sparring, and even continuous. And yeah, I train all the time. It's become my life. It's I think Robbie even said it before. It's not even a hobby anymore. It's more of a lifestyle, right? So it's kind of I do it every single day. I think about it every single day, and it's almost kind of become my job as well, right? So we're working at the dojo and traveling and competing all the time. My training went from feeling like training to feeling like working. So it doesn't even feel like training anymore. It feels like every time I go to the dojo, I put the pads on and I start training, I'm really working. So that's kind of how it's taken over and consumed my life. And then obviously the competitive side of it obviously consumes my mind a lot. It's something that I think about. I'm a competitive person, so for me,
Yeah.
competitions are very important, and I want to see those
I,
results and
I don't know
stuff.
what you're talking about. Everybody fight with a broken shoulder.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was crazy.
that was interesting. Yeah,
Mm.
it slid out of place
Uh,
on that. I think it was
Open
Wednesday.
weight? No,
No, it
no,
was.
no.
Oh yeah, it was right. It was during team fights,
Okay, yeah,
so it
right.
was right after my open weight. So yeah, it was on Wednesday. It slid out of place. So I think I got lucky. It didn't actually tear,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm running around trying to find a doctor to pop it back into place. And I found someone that was able to put it back, and I had 4 more fights after with the shoulder that popped out of place. So yeah, it was definitely an experience, but yeah, it was worth it.
It was your punch, right? Like the backhand or the front, the back
It was
fist.
my front hand, my front hand.
Your
Yeah,
back
so
fist. Oh
yeah, my back
shit,
fist.
man.
So
So you
so
can't
yeah.
block, really? Oh my god,
Yeah, well, I shouldn't be at least, but it takes over sometimes. So when I was sparring,
man.
I told myself going into the finals, I said I can't use my back fist. I got to keep my front hand in close, and then as soon as the fight started, I had my front hand out, throwing my back
Yeah,
fist. So you can't control it once it's muscle memory, right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
difficult,
exactly.
but yeah, it held up. It held up okay. It feels a lot better now.
Oh yeah, that's it, man. That's the way.
Yeah,
And how old are you now?
I'm 21.
21. Oh my god.
21. Yeah.
Okay, I feel old now. Because I remember you, man, when you were
Stop
fighting.
that.
You remember Gabriel from Sunfuki, Gab
Yes.
Poirier. Man, that's how I remember you guys. You know, Gab was like my little brother, and you were like the
Yeah.
competition. You always like worked to beat. So you
Yeah.
guys were like so good to watch
Yeah.
together.
We fought a lot together when we were
Oh,
juniors.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
why
I
I
don't
know
even
you
think we
were
really got
younger than me, but I didn't know how old you were. So 21, damn,
21. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
insane, man.
still. Yeah, so it's really, this is kind of like my first time fighting in adults because of
COVID, yeah.
the lockdown, right? So
Hmm.
I was fighting up since I was like 16, but just to kind of prepare myself, and then the lockdown happened. So, but now I'm fighting in adults in all my divisions now. So it's at least that kind of prepared me going into the adult divisions, kind of fighting up at a
Yep.
younger age. So I guess I didn't miss too much during that time I had off. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
So,
what? You have a
so
question, Manny? Was it?
yeah, yeah. Can you
yeah,
bring
for
us
sure.
back to your early beginning?
Yeah,
If you're 21, I guess that Robbie was probably in your coach at Douvris.
yeah. So he was always kind of moving around and stuff, but I always remember Robbie being around. He would always kind of mentor me. Robbie was always someone that I looked up to. It's kind of cool to. I went from watching him on YouTube as a little kid to now him like being my training partner and one of my best friends. So we see each other every single day. We work together. We teach at the dojo together. We train together. So yeah, I see Robbie all the time. It's actually really cool the way that we kind of started off. He started off as like a mentor to being able to fight alongside him at the World Championships. So yeah, that's really really cool.
And Cody, and you guys have so many
Yeah, and
people in the
Cody
same
too. Yeah,
dojo.
I know it's crazy. I was looking at the podcast and I saw Robbie, Ben, and me. It's like it's pretty cool that we have, or I'm pretty grateful too to be able to train with such amazing fighters. Even the Aversa brothers, right?
Hmm.
Sebastian. Yeah, I've had a lot of really good.
Is Sebastian still around? Because I don't see him in competition, but I think he's still like active, right? What happened with
Yeah,
him?
so he they have a Douvres. They have
Okay.
the Barhaven location. So
Yeah.
he
Okay.
works there with his brother and his mother, and they're the owners of the Barhaven location. So yeah, he's still around. He's teaching classes over there. He just doesn't really compete anymore.
Man, it's okay.
Yeah, yeah, he's
He
taking.
he was real good, so he gave us some
He
highlight.
was he was very very good. That was another
Yeah.
person that I kind of looked up to
Mm.
that I was able to to be a training partner with me as well and kind of help me kind of on my
Yeah,
way up.
100%.
Yeah.
And
And
I will ask you the same question we asked to Robbie. What do you think is the Douvris recipe for success with fighters? Because you guys are really good at it.
Yeah, and I think it's basics and repetition. If I were to say it's anything, because I've been to a lot of schools before, and not that they like to get too fancy, right? But I feel like sometimes they forget about the basics. And if you came to one of Master John's trainings, it's like it's not that it's nothing special, but it's just repetition, right? We'll sit there and we'll work the reverse punch, we'll work the back fist reverse punch, we'll work the defensive reverse punch, kick follow, and it's like the same stuff, right? But to some people it might get boring, but for me I see it as every single time I go to one of those trainings, I know I'm getting better. My reverse punch getting faster, my technique's getting better, right? And at the end of the day, the reverse punch, the back fist reverse punch, and the side kick are what win you championships, not a tornado kick, right? So some people kind of they get it mixed up at least, but I think it's just the basics and the repetition, and there's only so much that Master John or our senseis can do, right? There's a certain point where it's the fighter as well, how often they want to kind of train on the side, right?
Yeah,
Because
how hungry they are.
yeah, exactly, right. So Master John has his main trainings that we go to. We obviously work hard there, but we're also able to implement what we learn from him into our own kind of workouts and stuff. So
But this is so true what you're saying because I try because the youngster they only see on Instagram, YouTube the highlight. You're like, man,
yeah,
you're gonna do maybe in the tournament, not even 10 point with those kind of kicks,
yeah,
But your reverse punch, your back fist, your side kick, you're gonna score so much more with them. But like, oh yeah, but I want to do some spin and some,
Yeah.
yeah.
no,
I
no.
know.
It's
I'll
like
post
do
something if
your
I throw a spin
basic.
kick like that. So yeah,
Or
Preach.
just
I'll probably
switchback,
heard
boom.
something.
I'm like, you're
Yeah, the
not Raymond
switchback.
Daniels yet.
Yeah,
Get to
yeah,
that level first, and then you do whatever the fuck you want.
yeah,
But first,
yeah.
you got to do the basic. And even when you're the best, that's how you're going to win. When you see
It's the
two great
basics. Yeah,
fighter, they never spin. They never do that
no,
because they're too great for
exactly.
that. They're going to see it coming. So it's
Yeah,
only back fist, punch, move, boom, side. So it's really art. Fight is, yeah, and especially point fighting, I think.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Yeah, it's a lot of. It is all the basics, right? I watch my fights, and sometimes I'll do something like that, a spin back kick or whatever, right? But at the end of the day, I'm scoring 90% of my points with my reverse punch or my back fist or my side kick. So that's what I
Mm-hmm.
train the most, and because that's what works the most.
Yeah,
That's just how I
100.
see it. Yeah,
And
yeah,
we talk about the you now you compete in NASCAR too, but like before we get into that, when was your first WKC World Championship, and like when did you win, and when like how did the WKC path goes?
yeah. So my first world championship, actually, funny enough, in Italy, I believe that was 2013.
2013, yeah.
I made it as an alternate because that was my first tryout.
Okay.
And we were debating on going, and I never ended up going. I kind of wanted to. I didn't want to show up to the world championship as an alternate and just continuous. It wasn't even point sparring at the time, so I was like, I'll wait till next year. I'll keep training, and then in 2014 in Ireland, that's when I was able to go to my first world championship. I qualified in my point sparring, my continuous, and I believe I even did synchro kata with little Nico,
Okay,
if you
okay.
remember, Sebastian's little brother.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I went for the worlds for. I believe I got second in my continuous and my point sparring. I know I didn't win. I believe I won team continuous or something. But my first individual world championship that I'm most proud of is my 2015, which was the year after 2015 in Orlando. I
Yeah.
won my first individual point sparring division.
Oh,
So
that's
that,
nice.
so yeah, and then ever since then, I've been winning at the world championships, and I have, I think, six individual world championship titles at Worlds, which
All
is
all
pretty
in
cool.
point fight.
Yeah, all of my they're all in point sparring or continuous.
Okay,
I've
okay.
won continuous as well at Worlds.
And because that's one thing I told to my student, like at the beginning, it's cool you do form and point fight, it's good. But at some point, you have to decide: is it that how it come to you, or like you just realize that if you want to focus and be really, really good, you got to choose between one of those. How did it come?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just like hitting people. I always liked sparring a lot more than I liked kata. I did okay in kata too.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't train it as much as my sparring,
Yeah.
but as soon as uh, as soon as I was like 13 or 14, I was pretty much done with kata, and I was focusing on my sparring and my continuous. I didn't train continuous as much because if you guys ever watched me fight continuous, I would basically point spar while I did continuous because that's all I really trained. But
Yeah.
now that I'm transferring into adults, well, I'm 21 now, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing continuous anymore. I'm just focusing on the point sparring.
You can hear, but the problem is when we got with the European guy, those are who are only doing continuous and they're gonna wreck us, But like in Canada, I guess we all have the same style because nobody really does only continuous. You know what I mean? So we
Yeah,
all have a point fighting background ish style in continuous, but once you get it against Ireland, UK, man, those guys just they are not there
yeah,
to laugh. They're there to destroy everybody.
yeah. Well, because I think a lot of North American schools are they have the point sparring and the kata. But as soon as you kind of go to Europe, it's point sparring and kickboxing, right?
Yep.
They don't really do a lot of the kata stuff over there. So a lot of people that do the point sparring, they do the kickboxing as well, right? So that's why there's such strong continuous fighters, is because they have that kickboxing background, obviously. But yeah, I've had some great fights with people from England, Ireland, Northern Ireland. They were always really fun to fight against in continuous. I loved
Yeah.
fighting continuous. It was really really fun.
And Europe
Oh,
has
wow.
like such a they have another style completely. You know, the counter back fist. It was the first time I saw this. It was at the World 2012. I was like, "What did he just did?" I was
Yeah,
like, "Did he counter me with a back fist?" I was like, "Man, I never saw that in my life." And yeah,
yeah,
they have really a unique style. You know, it's like
yeah,
Latin
yeah.
America. And I want to get into that too. It's like Latin America, man. They fight like I never see this. They dance. They dance,
They're
man. They
very good.
move.
Very,
They're in front of you and poof, poof, and blitz. I'm like, what the? It's really
yeah,
unique.
yeah. Their movement's very very good over there. That's
But
something
but they got
that I
real
learned.
better because you guys, you and especially you go to Guatemala and train them. Tell us about that. Like how often you go and how does it happen? Because me, I have a fighter. He didn't lose a fight. Okay, he lose two
Hmm.
fight against Guatemala because they
Yeah,
move too differently. He's not used to that. So he got
yeah,
beat by those guys, and I was like, God damn it. So
yeah. They're
like,
very very.
how often do you go there, guys?
Yeah. So the first time I went to Guatemala, it was 2019, and I went there for 2 weeks actually, because
Wow.
we have a Douvris over there
Yep,
now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
with Lewis.
yeah, Sensei Luis, and I was there for 2 weeks. The day I landed, the next day after, we had a competition, and
Oh shit.
I was with Sensei Ben, so we had a competition there. We were there for 2 weeks, a lot of training, and then another competition right before we left. So that was kind of my introduction to Guatemala. It was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
The training there is very intense. They're also very high up, so it's a different type of conditioning. I'm 20 minutes into the workout, and I'm already kind of trying to catch my breath while they're already running around doing sprints. They work very very hard over there. I didn't go during the lockdown, but twice this year I was able to go back to Guatemala for competition and to train and to teach seminars and stuff like that. But something I learned about Guatemala is that their movement, the way they train their movement, is incredible. They it's I learned a lot from their training, kind of how they do their cone work, and how they see their movement.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of an analogy they used that I thought was really interesting. It's like when you drive into a parking lot, do you park in the first space you see, or do you kind of drive a little bit deeper into the parking lot to find a space that's not near any cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's exactly how they see point sparring. Is that they don't like to take the first opportunity that they see. They try to set it up, use their movement, and then find a spot that makes a little bit more sense, and park there, right? So that's kind of how they see it. And I learned a lot from that. I said, okay, so I can move, use my fakes, right, and try to set up my techniques rather than just kind of taking off, and taking advantage of the first opportunity I see.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's something that Sensei Luis told me I thought was very interesting. But then I also learned the different kind of levels of conditioning that I kind of figured out myself, is that, as I was talking about in Canada, when we do our blitzes, right? I can blitz all day long, right? Just like how they can move all day long, because of that's what they train the most, is their movement, right? So I might watch a kid fighting in a tournament from Guatemala, and when he's on his fifth fight and he's getting tired, he's still moving, he's still circling, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
how is he doing this? But he's too tired to maybe even throw his reverse punch, right? So kind of I find when I get tired, right, I don't move as much, right, because that's not something that I'm conditioned um, as well as they are, but I can still keep throwing my punch, right? So that was kind of something that clicked to me, that I was like, okay, maybe I just have to work on my movement conditioning a little bit better, and I'll sit there for an hour and just work my movement, right? So
Just
I know that
shadow me. Mm.
my movement conditioning is just getting better, and my takeoff conditioning has always been good, because that's what we train most of the time, is just us sitting in front of each other, reverse punch, back fist, reverse punch,
Boom.
and working
Do
that
you
straight line stuff.
Do you think their climate has something to do with it? Because they like
Oh, for sure.
they used to fight in like 40 degrees, no AC. It's really like a wet climate. And you come
Yeah.
here and we have AC in the dojos. We're all
Yeah,
cool, and
exactly.
it's not the same
Yeah,
thing, right?
yeah, yeah. Even the fighters in Mexico have told me, right? They're very, very high up. It's very hot. Even when I was running in Guatemala, I'm like losing my breath. So for them coming to like North America or even Europe, right? It's a lot easier for them to have
Yeah,
that conditioning
Man,
than,
it's
than it
like
is
taking
for
off
us
the
at least.
weight.
yeah, easy
Yeah,
peasy.
exactly.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Yeah, damn,
Yeah,
man.
because I went to Guatemala and I was doing a workout and 10 minutes in I was already running out of breath and I was like, that's crazy. But I've been working on my conditioning a lot since then, so hopefully that won't happen next time
Yeah.
I go see
But
them.
me, some of my
Yeah,
elite guy, they have like the mask that cut you, and it's that it's like it make like if you were high ground and stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
this,
I've
so
seen
it's
that.
harder to breathe. And yeah, that's the next step. But you can fight with it because the nose is in. So if you get a shot, it's gonna break your nose. So it's only for
Oh,
drill.
okay,
So you
that's
can
okay.
have
I've
it.
been there already.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's fun.
so the OKC, we all know it's like a must because MJ, you know. And but how did it come with your NASCAR like parkour? When did you start NASCAR and you get on the team? How did it all come?
Yeah, so I haven't done a whole lot of NASCA. I did a few when I was younger,
Hmm.
and I did pretty good with it. But my recent NASCA tournaments, I've done the Toronto. I did the Toronto tournament in when was that? 2019, I
Hmm.
believe. And since then, I think the Impex kind of decision to get on that team was just because Mr. Plowden is around in WKC, right? So
Yeah.
he's seen me fight in WKC and stuff. So I don't think it really necessarily had anything to do with my NASCA presence because I don't do a lot of NASCA.
Hmm.
I actually just came back from Diamonds
Yeah, I
Sunday.
saw it on
I, I was
Instagram.
I was at Diamonds over there too. So it is it's very different. It's very hard for me to adjust going to NASCA from especially from WKC just because of how different it
The
is.
rule and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, the room and the 2 point side kicks is just something I'm not used to, and
Don't get me
and
started.
yeah, and they just added a minus point. I guess they just added it this year. If you step out of bounds, it's a point to the other side. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
but in a 6 by 6 ring, so it's just difficult, right? Because if you fight someone with a good leg that's coming at you, and you're scared of that 2 point even side kick, right? And you step out of bounds, right? They're already getting a point. So it was definitely weird for me to go from WKC a whole week of it to like 3 days at home, and then I was off to Minnesota fighting at NASCA. So definitely something I want to work on is just kind of get more comfortable with that because what I noticed from NASCAR, it's a lot of straight line, just taking off, taking off, taking off. It's like blitzing back and forth, and it's just reverse punch, side kick, reverse punch, side kick. I'm more used to kind of like I explained before is a lot of movement, setting up my techniques and taking off, right? Because even in my final matches, I have a 2 2-minute round,
Yeah.
where in NASCA everything's 2 minutes, right?
Hmm.
Unless you get to the grands where it's the 2 2-minute rounds. So
That's good.
even in the finals in my division, it's 1 2-minute rounds. So with 2 point side kicks, those can add up quick. So
Hmm.
yeah, just something that I have to adjust. Obviously, I'm going to be doing a little bit more NASCA because I'm on that team. So, but I just see it as another challenge and something I'm looking forward to that I get to to kind of challenge myself and get a little bit better at.
Hmm. Did
So
you
So
compete this weekend or you didn't because you were injured still?
no, I competed and my shoulder actually. Yeah, I know
You're
I'm not
crazy, but
the smartest guy, but my shoulder actually held up pretty good this weekend.
that's it.
I was happy with it. Yeah, and I'm going to see a sports medicine doctor tomorrow, so hopefully they'll be able to check it out and see if I'm if I'm okay
yeah,
or if I've been not too smart the last week and a half. But
We'll see. We'll see.
we'll see. Yeah, it's not the first
you
time
you
I fought
you
through
just
injuries
name
too.
drop casually the Plowden name. Did you train with the Plowdens?
Well, no, I'm on team Impex K Talk now, which
Yeah.
is which was Impex was started by the Plowden, so they kind of picked me up onto that team. But yeah, the Plowdens are awesome. They're always at the WKC tournaments, and it's always good to see them fight, and it's
Oh
really
yeah.
exciting that I get to kind of be on the same team as them. As kind of the same idea as Robbie, is I always watched them when I was little, and to kind of get an opportunity like that was really really cool for me. And I've only really had one tournament where I was able to fight with them because of the lockdown. So I'm excited for 2023, all the tournaments that we have coming up together. It's going to be really fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't train with them. You don't have like a team training, or is it just because of the lockdown? Like, are you?
No, yeah, at the beginning we were doing Zoom trainings every single week, so we were working together on Zoom. But no, I was actually just texting Chris the other day
Mhm.
that I'd like to go see them soon and get a training in, because I think they might make it for Toronto, so maybe they can come back to Ottawa or even get a workout with them over there. But definitely, I'll definitely have to go see them soon and get a training in over there.
Mhm. Yeah, it's only a 4 hours drive.
Yeah, it's not too bad for
Yeah,
me.
at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
And what are your plans for the future? Do you see yourself going in the path of Robbie and going to karate combat, or do you want to open your own Douvris dojo? What is your plan?
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that because I'm actually in the works of looking for a space right now to open up the next Juvis
Let's
location,
go.
which is pretty cool. Yeah, so that is something that I'm really looking forward to, and that's kind of the path that I have in mind right now. Karate combat, I do think it's really cool, but I think I'm gonna stick with point sparring a little bit longer, uh, because, like I said, it's been my entire life, and I still am only 21, and I know I have a lot to work towards. Right, Robbie's won pretty much every single tournament there is, so I'd like to get to a point like that before I kind of would want to hang up the point sparring gloves and move on to something different. But yeah, I plan on kind of having the dojo, and with the dojo, I'm still able to train, travel, go see the world, teach seminars and stuff like that.
And by the time you have done all you what you want to do, like Karate Combat, maybe like 4, 5, 10 times bigger than what it is right now because it's still like the beginning
That's
of the
true.
story. So just do what
Yeah,
you got to do. Like you have Robbie, you want some diamond rings and stuff like that. So just do your
yeah,
tournament, become a legend, and then you can make the transition because it doesn't look
yeah,
that easy to do two fighting style. We just said it with continuous, so it's really hard. And yeah, you got to be a fucking champ to do that. Two different style and stuff. So take your
yeah,
time, buddy.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's crossed my mind, but definitely not anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to keep doing this for a little bit longer. I'm really enjoying it. I took some time off karate during the pandemic, and it just didn't feel the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I came back. I've been training, and I got the opportunity to open up the Douvris, and ever since then it's just been training, 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 traveling, competition, traveling, training. So
Do
it's
you have
uh
an
it's kind of right back to where I left off.
Do you have an area in mind? Do you already know where you're gonna open it?
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be in like the Canada Stittsville area of Ottawa. So still in Ottawa, but yeah, just looking for a space now. I'm really excited about it. It's all I've like really been thinking about is just that and training. So it's taken up, uh, it's consuming my mind in a good way. I'm,
But
I'm
yeah,
really 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 looking forward to that.
yeah. One,
Yeah.
one, one, one word, mats. Good luck. It's expensive as shit.
Mats, I know. That's one thing too. I was looking at
Uh
that. I'm
huh.
like, oof.
Uh huh.
And then I gotta get the mirrors, the bars, everything. So, yeah, definitely trying to find a good location first before I have to worry about all that stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I know mats are expensive.
Yeah, it's crazy,
Yeah.
especially with COVID. But whatever, I don't want to kill your hopes. How many school does Douvres has? You would be like the ninth, the 10th? How much?
Ninth.
Ninth.
Yeah, I believe it's the
Top
ninth.
10,
Yeah.
buddy. Top
So
10.
top 10. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really really exciting, and it's just obviously it's cool to even just be training and being a part of
Definitely.
Douvres,
Yeah.
but to be a part of kind of like you said, the 10 or so 9 schools, and being one of the owners of it for a franchise that's been around for almost 40 years. It's just like it's really really cool. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a dream come true. Ever since I went to Douvris when I was 10 years old, I was just like kind of I was amazed by the school itself and Master John. And it's just it was a dream come true really when I got the opportunity to open it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm very very excited and grateful for that.
Yeah, being able to live, like to make a living out of your passion is just it's next level, man. You
Yeah.
know, like it's a
Well,
Master John
yeah.
often share it on social media. And he's like, man, it's not like a job. It doesn't even feel like working, except summer camp.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even feel like
I feel you.
working. We all
Yeah.
feel
Well,
this.
yeah, that's even how I feel now, and the dojo is not even open yet, right? Like I'm just working, I'm working 4 days a week at the dojo, training right with kind of private lessons on the side and stuff like that, and it doesn't feel like work, right? It just feels like I go to the dojo, I
No.
do karate, I teach
When
karate,
you see
I
your
go
school
home.
friend working, busting their ass off, like in construction or like even a job like in the, I don't know, accountant, like, man,
Whatever
those
job, yeah.
guys, yeah, those guys are busting their ass. Me, when I go,
Yeah,
sometimes I'm tired, but I'm always like, okay, let's do this shit. So
yeah,
and me, I have two schools, so twice a week it's fight day. So I'm like, yeah, let's go.
there you go.
So yeah, man, it's
Yeah,
just
and
so nice.
yeah, I know exactly what you mean because I took marketing in school
Hmm.
and during COVID I got a marketing job. So I was working there for 9 months and that was kind of that 9 months where I wasn't training. And I'm sitting there like at a desk
What the fuck am I
on a
doing?
computer
Yeah.
and I'm just like thinking to myself, I'm like, this is like it was a cool job, but it's like this is
That's
not what I'm supposed to be doing.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's like that's all that was going through my head. It's like it's cool, but it's not this is not what I was
It's not
put
your
on this earth
place.
to do, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So it's funny because while I had that job, I went to a local tournament. I went to it was Battle Zone, I think.
Yep.
It was Battle Zone was going on in Ottawa, and I went by to go see the kids. I didn't plan on competing or anything, so I went to go see the kids just to support them, and I was watching the men's team sparring before
Hello.
sparring the next day, and I was watching, and I was like, I miss this so much. I should be in there right now. And the next day, I ended up bringing my gear. I competed and I won the men's overall, right? And it was just so weird because I hadn't been training and I felt so alive again, right? I went from not doing any of that to just randomly competing and everything just came back to me and I ended up quitting the job and now I'm opening a Douvres school and I've been training ever since that day really. So yeah, it's really really cool.
Mm. And did you remember who you fought in final? Because Battle Zone must have been like someone like from your school or something. Was it like Cody or something?
Who did I fight in the finals? It was I believe it was Ryan Bennett
Yeah,
from
yeah, the tall
oh
guy from
yeah, I think it was from Newfoundland or it might have been Ben. Not Ben, sorry, Nathan.
School
I
Fees.
forget
Yeah.
to be honest. No,
Oh,
Parker.
Parker and Edinburgh. Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
I forget who I fought in the finals. I had a few fights there, but I do forget. That's not good. But yeah, I've had a lot of fights,
Yeah.
even just since I left that job. So it's kind of hard to keep track. But yeah, it was a really it was just cool to finally be back and back to hitting people and stuff. I was out of breath the whole time, but I was just like I was just like laughing and smiling. It was so weird. It's like the first like I was literally sparring and like laughing at the same time because I was so excited to be able to fight again. So yeah, that's just kind of how that experience went. But yeah,
So lockdown was kind of good for you
yeah. I mean,
because it
I
bring you back
learned
on
a
the rail.
lot. Yeah, yeah, I definitely learned a lot because there was a point where it was like a year in and I was training like crazy and I just felt like I was training and there was no tournaments coming up, especially in Canada. It
Mm-hmm.
was it was difficult it was difficult to leave the country for a long period of time. And
Don't tell me.
and I was and I was just like what am I doing this for? That's almost what I felt like. I'm like, is this ever going to end? And that's kind of when I got the job, and then things started to clear up a little bit, and that kind of gave me some hope. I came back to karate, and I've been to Guatemala twice, Ireland, the States twice since then. So I've been able to travel even since kind of the restrictions were lifted and we're able
Mm-hmm.
to go around and stuff. So yeah, it's been amazing. My life's kind of right back to where it left off in 2020, which is really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. And you fell on
Yeah.
your spot, man. And vas-y, Manu,
Yeah,
do you have a question?
speaking of Ireland, who would you say was the toughest opponents at the WKC World in Ireland this
This year.
year?
Yeah, well, it was my first time fighting Craig O'Shaughnessy from Ireland. He beat me
Open weight?
in the grands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In the grand, yeah.
in the not the open with the
Oh,
grands,
okay, okay,
the
okay. I thought it
semifinal
was the
grands.
finals of open weight. Okay.
Yeah, and it was my first time fighting him, and he was a very interesting fighter. He had really good distance,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it was kind of hesitant to take off, right, because of how good his distancing
Mm-hmm.
was. So he was one fighter, and obviously Kevin Walker, who I fought in the finals from my division, is obviously a very good fighter too. So yeah, it was great competition.
Which is
Those were
from
definitely
England,
The USA.
USA. Okay.
But
yeah, he's from
do you want to
USA.
know something fun with Kev? You
Yeah,
switched gi with him. I
yeah.
switched t-shirt with the guy.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him. You had one of
Yeah.
the
So
Canada
you know when we
t-shirts. I
saw
saw.
each other like the last night, like we crossed each other route or sometimes. I didn't
Yeah,
sleep from all night. I put an all nighter because we were going like so early in the morning. At 5:30
yeah.
we were leaving. At 5:20 we switched t-shirt. It's the last fucking thing I did in the Ireland.
There you
I was
go.
like, let's
Yeah,
go. And then he told me, I
yeah,
have the gi. It's awesome. I have the shirt. And I was like, yeah, man, let's go.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I switched uniforms with him. I had an extra one, so I he that was my Canada uniform that he was wearing around
Yeah.
all night.
That guy
Yeah,
is
that's
funny.
funny.
He's really cool. An
Yeah,
humble guy, you know.
he is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah, for
back
sure.
to the Ireland guy, you remember me of Tom Roberts because he was not even like jumping. He was flat foot. I was like,
Yeah,
hop. And it's so crazy because me, I'm always telling my students, you gotta always do the little jump, like even like almost as you float, you're like flying a bit.
yeah,
And that guy was flat foot and a heavyweight fighter. I was like, man, this is so nice to see. And
yeah,
of course, you didn't fight 100 because of your shoulder. Because I think you could have win this. Like, no, but honestly, it's not you saying it; it's me, so it's okay. But I was like,
yeah.
man, this is sad, but it is what it is. And the guy, he actually ended up winning all, right? He won the gold.
He
Yeah.
did. He did.
So it was
Yes.
a good show, anyways. But
Yeah, it was good.
yeah, what a atypical fighter.
Yeah, no, it was a great turnout. I think people actually really liked Killarney too. I preferred it over Saggart and
Yeah.
Dublin, to be honest
Hmm.
with you. The town was very easy to get to. It was only like a 15-20 minute walk, and I actually the sensei I was with, he had Sensei Danny had a car, so we were able to just drive over there and eat and drive back. So it was super easy and nice for us.
Hmm.
And yeah, the breakfast was a lot better than the City
Oh
West
yeah.
at the hotel over there. So no, I actually really enjoyed myself in Killarney. It is really cool to see all of the different countries and their different style of fighting. There's even Venezuela there, Honduras, Spain, right? Some countries that we don't really see a lot. So no, I had a really good time in at Worlds there. It was fun
Mm. Are you gonna be there next year? Stupid question.
for sure. Yeah, for
Let's
sure.
go.
Yeah, that's one tournament that, like, if I'm ever gonna fight at my best, it's gonna be WKC World. Something about like the finals and the chants and everything about it is just the Canada chants. When I hear
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
it's just like it's just something inside of me. Just yeah,
But
it's
did you
awesome.
see what Master John write as a post yesterday about like the team fight category? And I
Yeah,
comment. I was like, let's bring a team fight at nationals. It was like dojo against dojo, and I was like, let's go. Let's just do some team fight at the nationals. So we might
yeah,
have some next
that
year.
would be that would be interesting.
And
That would be very
my
interesting.
point of view on this was like young people they don't get like that you don't have to win all your team fight, so it would teach them the strategy better than just go and win, because they don't do team fight often. We don't have that in like normal us. We don't have that much. Sometimes it's 2v2, but like team fight 3 or 5 people, it's just the energy is just not the same. It's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. Like, as much as I love my individual
Oh
point
yeah, yeah.
sparring division, my there's nothing that compares to to the team fights.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. And even in Orlando in 2019, right?
I
Yeah,
think, yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
Well,
No, in
oh no,
2019
no,
was
no
in Niagara Falls.
that's what I
Niagara,
meant to
ouais.
say. Not yeah, in Niagara Falls. I was still technically a junior, and they put me on that men's team, and that feeling of just being on stage and hearing the Canada chants on like the big stage is still technically a
It's
junior. It was
always
just
Canada
like,
chance until Robbie go on stage. After that, it's Robbie, Rob. But it was kind of
yeah,
like you this year, you know? Nico,
yeah,
Nico.
yeah. Like I got, yeah. When the Nico chants were going, I was pretty excited there. Even after when I was kind of walking around, people were chanting it in the hallway again, right? Because they were having so much fun with
Mm-hmm.
it. So but that's just the atmosphere of that World Championships is just like everyone just seems like they're having so much fun. Like me, like I came home and my parents were like, how was it? I'm like, I had like way too much fun, like way too much fun. It was just
Oh,
like
yeah.
every single day was just so exciting. Like getting to see like my students that like haven't won big tournaments, and just to see them putting in the work and then going to the worlds and winning the division is just like it's so cool. It's like the build up for that tournament every single year is huge, and then once you finally get there, it's like this is what we trained for. This is what we were waiting for. It's
Yeah.
just it's a really fun
And you know,
experience.
there's many association, whatever, how much they are, and I really love the WKC for that. It's a world championship each year because you know NASCAR is cool, but there's no like stage. You have to go every time, everywhere to win
Yeah,
all. So some people win sometimes because they went to more competition than someone else, even though like you know they're more talented, but they don't go as often. Waco is one
yeah,
year on two, like sometimes it's junior, adult, junior. So that's why I really love the WKC. It's like each year you can go and compete at the highest level, even though you're not like rich as hell. You know, you're gonna put
yeah,
some, you're gonna do a fundraiser, and then you go to the worlds. You know, like
yeah,
it's really awesome. That's why I love the WKC so much, man. It's like for me,
yeah.
it's the
No,
best.
me too. Yeah, and the rules too. Like
Hmm.
it just everything I've done the circuits too, just to see what they're like, and nothing really compares to the atmosphere of WKC Worlds. It's just it's a great experience. I always have so much fun
Mm.
there.
Oh, it just
Yeah,
popped. Now we're talking about great competition. Let's talk about
yeah,
Irish Open. It's is it like a goal for you to go in some point and go win that thing, or like how do you see this?
yeah. I've done it. I've done it
Okay.
twice, and I've actually yeah. I've done pretty. Those are the only two WACA tournaments I've done, but it's like it's easier for me to fight those tournaments than to fight NASCA, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, just because the rules are a little bit more similar,
Yep.
right? And I have a bigger ring, the 7x7 ring. So yeah, it would be cool to win to win one of those tournaments too. But I've gotten uh, I got bronze in my division the last time I went, so it was definitely a cool
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. Being
Yeah, to,
bronze
to
in
do something
fucking
do
Irish
something
Open is like
do
OP.
yeah do something a little bit different.
But you
Yeah,
need the
yeah, it
glove,
was
the
cool.
champion glove, Nico.
Yeah,
It's better than a
yeah.
gold
That
medal, man. You're like,
that's
let's
true.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely cool to try out the different tournaments and see different parts of the world. Obviously, I've been to Ireland. It feels like a million times
Hmm.
between that and Worlds, which is good because Ireland is a cool place, other than all the fish and chips.
Yeah.
But that's okay. It is a cool country.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I
Yeah.
hope they're gonna go in Barcelona again, like it was supposed in 2020, maybe in
It
2024.
was supposed to
Because
be in Madrid. Madrid. The
no,
one that was
Barcelona.
cancelled, it was Madrid.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Nico, you say
pretty sure
Barcelona,
it was
Madrid.
Madrid.
That it was canceled
Yeah,
in.
Yeah, because of the COVID, like 2020 was
I'm
supposed to
pretty
be in
sure it's
Madrid.
Barcelona.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I always thought it was Madrid, to
Oh
be
yeah,
honest.
Mm.
fuck.
But yeah, I think that's still a possibility in the future for sure. I think
Hmm.
Yeah,
it's more of just
they
a,
just
a
got the
venue
new
thing.
new team for WKC España. They just announced it today.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's definitely not something that is not going
Off
to happen
table, yeah.
or can't yeah, out of the question. So yeah, that would be really cool just to change it up because I think it's more of a Europe North America type of thing. How they go back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
just so we can get the Europeans and as well as the North Americans and South
Yeah,
Americans.
the
So
Florida is
I think that's
always
kind of
great,
the
man.
idea.
Me, well, I
Yeah,
could go there
it's
10
easy.
times. Yeah, it's easy peasy.
Yeah,
You're next to Universal, Disney, so on a day off you can go because we don't have much time off. It's like one day in the
yeah,
week at most. At most you have one day if you're lucky. So it's really cool to be
yeah.
close from everything, and you just go out by the pool, sun. It's fucking nice.
Checkers, Checkers. Get my $2 burger.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
The Checkers is whenever I'm pretty sure I went to Checkers every single night. It was like 2.29 for a little burger. It was perfect. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's really good. Yeah, no, Orlando's a good location too. I always liked it there.
Mm.
They had a bunch of like restaurants and stuff nearby.
So you missed the 2012 Worlds in Canada, Saint Hyacinthe.
I did. Yeah, that was
Are we
like
going there?
that was
No, no, we're not going there, but
that. Oh, that was when it was in Montreal.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
saying,
Yeah,
dude,
Montreal.
it's like country deep.
was
Oh
it?
yeah.
Oh,
Like
that's
40
funny.
minutes from
Yeah,
Montreal, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. That's when I like just started kind of competing. So I didn't probably didn't make it to Worlds at that point. I was still
I mean, you
jumping in the
Youngins.
air while I was throwing my back fist still probably.
you didn't miss a
Yeah.
thing. But me, I was like, I had a
But,
car back then, so I was like, you
yeah.
guys, you want to party? I'm gonna bring you to Montreal, man. So I used to grab a couple of teammates and go, like new friends I made, but that was it. People that
Yeah.
don't know the area was like, this is Montreal, and I was like, no, no, it's not. It's the spot they choose.
Country
Yeah.
could be cool though. I come from the country. It could be cool. There's great area on countries, in foreign regions, but this one maybe not so much. But
But they had like something happen with the place, so they
yeah,
had to find a
there
new
was
place
a
quick. So yeah, but whatever. But what would be cool? It's like in the east, no west, in the west, like Alberta, Banff, something like that. Like kind of that
like
would
we
be in the
discussed
Or
mountain.
in the
Ottawa.
Yeah,
podcast.
or
Yeah.
Ottawa. But I feel like it's
Yeah,
always
but
on our side. Like even people
yeah, I know.
that do qualification
Maritimes.
from Alberta, they have to always calm down, and it's super crazy because flying into Canada is full expensive, even though it's
Yo,
the
New
same
It is very
country.
Brunswick would be
expensive.
cool. New Brunswick would be cool. There's great beach and everything.
Yeah,
That's
minus
true.
30. The water is frozen
Minus
almost.
30 on the
Yes, it's
It's
beach.
still
Yeah,
it's still the ocean.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
great to see.
that's true.
But less bikini.
Yeah.
Anyways, so and okay, so the school, everything, and so you were talking about having student, and me, I know the greatest feeling is student. Like, how many do you have, and is that your students? Do you teach them, or like how does it work at your place? Like,
Yeah, well, my school isn't open yet, so I'm still working at
Yeah.
the headquarters, the Bank Street location. So I'm like working at the same location as Robbie, and so they're not my students
mm-hmm,
technically.
Mm-hmm.
When I said like the students, I just meant like kind of some of the younger guys that I've been able to kind of see come up, right? Because there are some tournament team trainings that I teach on Tuesday night. I teach that class, so even just to see some of the even the 14, 15, 16, 17 year olds, right, seeing them improve
Mm-hmm.
and move on to worlds and succeed is just a really, really cool thing to see. And me, I get emotional. I see them back fisting and hitting and people, and I'm like, I got
yeah,
him that. It's just like, it's just really cool
mm-hmm,
to see them do that stuff, especially at worlds on like the big stage,
yeah.
right? And yeah,
You
it's
teach
really cool.
Grayson, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy, man.
Well, like he's from the Barhaven
Okay.
location, but he comes to the trainings and he does my Tuesday night training too. So yeah, I don't want to. I'm not gonna take
Yeah,
all the
yeah, yeah, no,
credit,
no.
right?
But
But
I think you
but
coach him
but, but
at some point.
he's one
I
of
saw you behind his chair
he's one of the
at the final.
yeah. I coached him in the
Mm-hmm.
finals at Worlds.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
have my student who's like he was against him in a team fight, but not in the solo. And that guy, man,
gotcha.
he's really good. He's just even though he was good at the Canadian, from Canadian to Worlds, he stepped up so much his game and like
Yeah,
got really good
yeah.
that kid.
Our training before Worlds is always super intense. We like to really push the kids, so they kind of know what they got coming. But a lot of them were really prepared this year. We did well. We always do pretty good at Worlds, but our Douvris team did really well this year.
Yeah. They post the results on like picture with everybody and the gold, and you're like, Dante,
Yeah,
man, 5 gold. The guy just went on
Dante.
a rampage. He was like, I'm hungry,
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. That's one of the guys I was kind of referring to too. Is just kind of seeing him. That's his first time winning a gold at Worlds, and he did 5 of them at once, right? So it's just like it's pretty cool to win 5 golds at one World Championship and kata points barring teams, everything. So yeah, he did
Yeah, I
really
remember
good.
him last year. He lost. He was silver, I think. He was mad, but then he had a good attitude, even though he lost. And I was like, man,
Yeah,
if
humble
that
guy.
kid like do the right thing and train and come back, he's gonna rake it out. And as I was thinking,
Yeah,
just 5 gold this year, I was like, man, he's unstoppable now. So yeah,
yeah,
that's really
yeah.
fucked up.
It's a mindset thing, right? So a lot of the kids they train hard enough, right? They're all super physically they're fast enough, they're strong enough, right? But it's just kind of that final step is just the mental game, right? So as soon as they're able to break that mental barrier, that's the difference between them losing their first fight and them winning a world championship, right? It's sometimes that's all it takes is just that mental barrier. So
And
and he's
what's
got
your
a lot.
personal trick to put yourself in the zone, like before a fight? Do you have some kind of music that you listen to? What is your personal tricks?
Yeah, I just usually put like a hoodie on, put some sweatpants over top of my uniform, and just keep my body warm. I do my stretches, listen to my music, and I just like to kind of fire myself up. I don't do too much, but I just listen to my music. I prepare myself mentally by just something that Master John always said was, "I've done this before. I just want to do it
Yeah,
again."
but
Right, and that's just kind of something that kind of can calm
Yeah,
me
but
down.
you see, I remember we were training our Sunfuki people. We're on the second floor, well, whatever you get it, and we were there. And she had Joe Milo. He said something interesting. He said, "Look at us. We're all training, and look over there. There was you, Cody, Robbie, just warming up, just moving, shadow, blitz, and just minding your own business." He was like, "Those guys are the best in the world, and they are training as we do right now." So we're like, man, this is motivation. You guys are the best of the best right now. And it's like they are doing this. They're not like chilling downstairs doing the thing. It's like even though you're there, you gotta be in a I'm a win the game mindset. Not like taking it easy and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. Was that when we were kind of drilling
Yeah,
at the top?
yeah, exactly. Where the
Yeah, yeah,
youth was the first day. It was only
yeah,
you guys
yeah.
at
We
the on the other side and us on the other side. And I was like, man, those are the best of the best. And like they don't need to train, but like just be in the zone, doing your shit. I was like, man, just look at that and do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's also keeping the body
hmm
warm, right? Especially because we're there for so long. But yeah, but it's just it almost doesn't even seem like much, right? But when you kind of say it like that, it kind of it go it shows. But to us, it's just we got to keep our
hmm
body warm.
And
We
as
have
you
to.
say, the
We're so
basic.
used to working out all the
hmm
time. Yeah, and if you watched, it was just us. We just worked reverse punch, reverse back fist, reverse punch, back fist, reverse kick, follow, defensive punch. And that's just kind of what we did over and over. So yeah, the basics work. So we stick to it.
And that's what
Yeah.
you win a
Yeah,
championship with.
yeah.
And that's a good ending word. And Nico, we're gonna keep you for a Patreon section of the podcast.
Oh my god, man! I
So
have no question ready, Manu.
I have some. I have some. So
I can do some on the fly, but ugh.
I thank you for this discussion. It was really great. I
Of
think
course.
people learn
Yeah.
a lot
Thank
about
you for having me.
point fighting. It was an honor.